WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. We now know the name of the man found dead in Pickens County.
Several agencies are now working together to find out exactly what happened. Our Quentin Smith has been following the story. He joins us in the studio with more on it. Quentin.
Andrea, investigators say 52-year-old Henry Lee Easley's body was found on County Road 53 near Baines Road early Sunday morning. Columbus police were contacted that morning, and on yesterday they received a missing persons report on Easley. Family members tell police Easley went to a wedding in Caledonia on Saturday and was then dropped off in Columbus by a family member. Pickens County Coroner Chad Harless says Easley's body had several gunshot wounds. Agencies from both Mississippi and Alabama are investigating the events leading up to Easley's death. Now, we reached out to Easley's family members, and as you can imagine, they tell us they were too shaken up to go on camera. Anyone with any information on what happened, or if you saw Easley after 8 p.m. on Saturday night, you're asked to call the Golden Triangle Crime Stoppers or call Columbus Police Department. Andrea and Joey.
All right, Quentin, thanks so much. Well, we have special features that make us unique. A tattoo is a form of expression, but it can be a window into a person's identity.
Yeah, it's why law enforcement document them when a person is arrested. WCBI's Victoria Bailey talks with Winston County deputies to find out what officers can learn from a little ink. She joins us in the studio with more. Victoria.
Hair samples and fingerprints are just a few methods that law enforcement use to find out a person's identity. But I learned today if the body's got a tattoo, it might just tell officers what they need to know to make a positive ID.
Identifying a suspect or victim's body is no easy task.
Depending on the circumstances, it can be extremely difficult when you find the body to figure out who that person is. Weather conditions, where the body was left, that sort of thing will play a heavy role in what sort of evidence is remaining.
Winston County Sheriff Jason Pugh says for his department, tattoos are one of the most important identifiers.
Everybody that's booked into our correctional facility, a list is made of the tattoos on that person at the time of their arrest. Some of these folks are arrested several different times over the course of their life. So if we find that tattoo on a person and we believe it may be this person and they have been in our system, then we can look back and see if that person did have that particular tattoo on their body at the time of death.
Since no crime scene is the same, law enforcement must work fast if the tat is going to be of any use to an investigation. Just ask Columbus Forensic Lab Director Austin Shepard.
Tattoos will typically survive on skin as long as the skin survives. So in hot, humid environments like you have in Mississippi and Alabama and kind of the deep south, decomposition rates, especially in the summer, really high, really fast. You know, someone can completely decompose in a few days. Sometimes it may take up to a couple of weeks. But of course, once the skin's gone, the tattoo's gone.
Pugh says fingerprints and DNA are still widely used in investigations, but a tattoo is like a picture. It says 1,000 words.
If the officers know how to read, it can be a roadmap basically of that person's life, so you can learn a lot about them.
Pugh goes on to say it can be determined whether a person's a part of a subculture, network of a gang, or a member of a hate group just from a tattoo. Andrea, Joey.
All right, fascinating stuff, Victoria. Thanks a lot.
All right, time now to turn our attention to weather, and meteorologist Amanda Reynolds has your first look at your forecast.
Well, it's been a pretty nice afternoon so far. We do have a few showers and storms off to our east, but it's still a warm afternoon, 90 degrees here in Columbus, and it's going to stay like that. I mentioned those showers and storms. One is coming south from Hamilton and Haleyville, the other coming west closer to Columbus. As we go into tonight, though, we'll have temperatures dropping down into the mid-70s. I'll have your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Tupelo's Homelessness Task Force has 2 additional big goals. It wants to help the homeless find affordable housing and better coordinate services. The task force discussed options today to get people off the streets. Members also want agencies to do a better job of working together for homeless residents or those on the verge of having no place to live.
Collaboration and partnership are key to meet any community need, whether it be homelessness, whether it be food insecurity, whether it be anything. You have to identify your stakeholders in the community, get together and foster communication to actually identify the issues and then ways to address those issues.
And that task force meets every month.
A small town embezzlement case involving 2 workers has put the state auditor's office in the spotlight today. Stacey Pickering was in Oxford briefing businesses and political leaders about the work his office does and about that case in Ecru. Pickering says no matter who is involved, when it comes down to it, all of the cases are worked the same.
We are seeing, quite a few number of cases from an employee standpoint. But those cases are being found out just like they would be if it was an elected official that was doing something wrong. We work all cases, again, from Tennessee state line to the Gulf Coast, every county, every city, every school district, every state agency. No one's exempt from following the law and doing what's right.
Pickering also spoke about the comprehensive annual financial report for the state.
Meanwhile, Congressman Trent Kelly believes China and Russia agreeing to sanctions against North Korea will get the attention of the communist nation's leader. First District Congressman Trent Kelly says he was impressed with President Trump's speech to the General Assembly of the United Nations. Trump promised to, quote, totally destroy North Korea if it continues to develop nuclear weapons. Kelly says North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is a dangerous man who can't be allowed to develop missiles that could carry a nuclear weapon.
I like President Trump's strong stance on that, and also I think you see the international community coming together when you have China and Russia to sign on to sanctions, and that's a big deal also. The Chinese, although it doesn't look that way on paper and in person all the time, I think they're helping as much as they can because he's just as much a threat to Asia as he is to the United States.
And today, Kim Jong-un called President Trump, quote, deranged and said that he would pay dearly for his speech at the UN. Coming up is the cloud of recent hazing incidents casting a shadow over pledging at area universities.
We check in on the effect on Rush and Rebel Country when we come back.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Rush Week at the University of Mississippi, and a couple of thousand students will be going through the recruitment process.
Many universities have been in the national spotlight because of fraternity hazing cases. Recently, LSU suspended one fraternity and put a hold on the university's Greek life. Our Jory Talley rolls to Oxford and checks with the university's Greek life there and its hazing policy. She joins us live in the studio.
Being proactive and educating students and parents about hazing is a huge focus for the University of Mississippi. There is a zero tolerance for hazing that every sorority and fraternity must follow.
When you drive down sorority or fraternity row on the Ole Miss campus and see white tents out front, it means one thing: Rush Week. It also means the university is using its educational and outreach tools to highlight its anti-hazing policy.
That medical amnesty element coupled with our hazing policy, which is really a zero tolerance for hazing or any sort of hazing behavior on our campus, gives us the tools then to be responsive in a way that we can be educational but also take care of folks.
The first message to the Greek hopefuls is don't be afraid to say something if you are being hazed.
My biggest focus has been this year particularly focusing on the potential new members and focusing on it's okay to be the one who steps out and says this isn't right and it's okay, this is what is right and this is what is wrong, and showing them what hazing may look like, and if you feel uncomfortable at any time, if you feel like you're being forced to do anything, it's okay to say no.
Greek leaders say the fight against hazing doesn't end with Sunday's bid day.
All of our IFC and Panhellenic potential new members will sign a hazing compliance statement, meaning that they understand that there are university policies, there are state laws, and that they are aware of them, and also that they're going to be committed to reporting things if they're aware of them.
The school now has a website where you can report mistreatment anonymously.
You can leave as much information or as little information as possible. You can upload videos, photos. Anything is going to help us hold our organizations more accountable. They have committed themselves to make better men and women, and we can do that. We can do so in a way without hazing.
There have been no recent reports of hazing at the University of Mississippi.
And
It'll be another warm and humid day for Friday. We'll start out in the mid-70s, but climb once again well above 90 degrees with the chance for showers and storms. Your full forecast right after the break.
Our first alert forecast with meteorologist Amanda Reynolds.
It's been another warm and humid afternoon. That's actually sparked off a few showers and storms just to the west of Vernon. The clouds kind of died off just before and then perked back up right after this time lapse ended. We have cooled down a little bit, but we're still very warm in the 90s. Current temperatures cooled down into the upper 80s, but a few areas still hanging on to that 90-degree mark, but it feels much warmer than that. It feels like it's in the mid or upper 90s when you factor in the humidity. But I mentioned a few of those showers and storms. This one just impacting Sulligent now, and that'll continue heading off to the southwest. And then we have these two showers that are kind of fizzling out, but could see a drop or two of rain here in Columbus over the next probably half hour or so. But as we go through this evening, those showers will begin to clear out as we lose the heating of the day with the sunlight. And by around 7 in the next half hour or so, we'll drop down into the mid-80s, eventually down to the mid-70s. But overnight, we'll drop down to around 70. But looking ahead, the heat and humidity not really going anywhere. We'll keep the chance for pop-up showers and storms through at least tomorrow, lessening as we go closer to the weekend. But looking like in the long term we'll have a cooler pattern as we get into the beginning of October. So the end of next week we'll see some of those cooler temperatures. But again, for tonight we'll drop down to around 70 degrees, mostly clear, another warm and humid evening. I feel like I've been saying this the last several days. Our weather really hasn't changed. And similar to today, tomorrow we'll again see those pop-up showers and storms. Heat index likely going to climb above 95 degrees. Our temperature going to climb above 90. So Futurecast picking up on those pop-up showers and storms through the day tomorrow. Nothing really out of the ordinary, but the summer heat's going to continue for at least the next several days. This high pressure just going to continue to sit, but eventually this below average area will continue to push off to the east and begin to cool us down as we get to the ending part of next week. So best chance for showers and storms tomorrow, but then we'll cool off as we get into the weekend. But once we get to Thursday, that cold front will push through, and that'll bring us some cooler temperatures. We'll have more on sports coming up after the break.
WCBI Sports with Robbie Donahoe is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
It's difficult to not draw parallels from this year's MSU Bulldogs to that 2014 season, which saw Mississippi State go from unranked to #1 in college football. Top quarterback, nasty defense, big-time running back, and Dan Mullen. The constant has been the head coach. And leading up to Saturday's contest at Georgia, some in the national media have questioned whether bigger jobs will come calling for Mullen after this year. Mullen answered that and more on ESPN SportsCenter last night.
Have they locked you up to a lifetime contract yet? Otherwise, they're all coming soon, right, if they haven't already?
Hey, I've learned one thing in college football, and especially down here in the South. You're as good as your last game. So they love me right now, but we'll see. Let's see how we play Saturday night, and that's about as far as most people down in the South take it as your last game.
I think the key question is the coach buying or renting? So do you have a home there?
Oh, I got my house. You know what? We moved in a couple days before my son was born 9 years ago. So we've been in there, and that's the only home our family's known.
All right, so there it is. Dan Mullen's not moving out of his house. Breaking news, he's staying in Mississippi State forever. All right, that laid that to rest. All right, SEC football for this Saturday. A&M Arkansas starting at 11 a.m. We'll have Bama Vandy for you on WCBI, and MSU Georgia 6 p.m. kickoff time on ESPN. Your NFL schedule for Week 3. We'll have Rams 49ers on the NFL Network tonight, and then Ravens Jaguars started off Sunday morning across the pond in London at Wembley Stadium. You can watch that game on Twitter. It's live on Twitter. We won't have it on WCBI, but we will have Texans, Patriots, Bengals, Packers coming up Sunday later afternoon. And in other games, Giants, Eagles, Saints, Panthers, Seahawks, Titans, and also Cowboys at Cardinals for Week 3 in the NFL. To volleyball, the Mississippi High School Activities Association announced today that Mississippi State University's Newell Grissom building will host the 2017 Volleyball Championships. The home arena for the MSU volleyball team, Newell Grissom, will host the semifinals and state championship matches in classes 1, 2, and 3 on Thursday, October 26th and Saturday, October 28th. For more, you can visit our website at WCBI.com. To baseball, what a night last night in the Bigs. for Hunter Renfroe, the former Mississippi State Diamond Dog, homered in the 3rd inning to give the San Diego Padres the lead. And then in the 5th inning, Renfroe would also hit a home run, so he's got 2 home runs. Now, what a game for Hunter Renfroe, hitting 2 home runs in one contest. But wait, there was more. This solo shot in the 9th inning would give the Crystal Springs native 3 home runs on the evening. He just finished up his stint with the El Paso Chihuahuas in AAA, picking up right where he left off in the show. And hey, Hunter, anything you can do, I can do better. This is Adam Frazier, the former Mississippi State Bulldog, had a big night last night for the Pirates as they took on the Milwaukee Brewers. This triple off the wall would score 2, would tie the game at 2. Then we'd go bottom 9, tied at 4. Adam Frazier's got 1 runner on, and hey, I saw you, Hunter Renfroe. I'm also going to go yard as well. A walk-off 2-run shot. It's Frazier's first career walk-off home run. He had 4 RBIs in the win. So how about a couple former MSU Diamond Dogs doing work? And Dudy Noble Field looking pretty good in terms of its renovation. They've got turf down. They've got all the stanchions up right now in terms of the bleachers and the seats. So
you've reserved your spot?
I have not. I've been watching on the camera though. You can go online and watch it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, JUCO football night too as well.
All right, we'll be right back.
Well, we'll keep the showers and storms at least through tomorrow, maybe a pop-up shower or 2 this weekend, but otherwise not looking too bad other than the heat, the humidity, but it'll be cooler as we get towards the end of next week and the beginning of October.
We're going to hold you to it.
I'll do my best.
Very summer-esque in the fall. There we go. Thanks for joining us, everyone.